Hello everyone, good afternoon. Welcome from AGS. I'm Gianluigi Di Sessa from Service Engineering Department. Today I'll show you a digital articulator. If you have any question at the end of the presentation, I will answer them. Thanks. Okay. The first step, I set the job. And I write the name of the patient. I can write some notes or load images. We can choose the kinds of the model. We have a prepared model, a raw model, and an impression model. Today I show you a raw model, and I select the work. In this case, I do an anatomic crown. On upper and lower. So this area is dedicated for the scanning section. We can select the physical articulator, but today I don't show you the scan. I import S.R.L. We have more option. We can select the material. We can set the milling machine or the text library. We can modify the option, but this option is possible to modify during the workflow. I go ahead and I import the S.R.L. So I import the S.R.L, the lower and upper. I select the cluster and I match with arch, the upper and lower. So go ahead and I go in the CAD. In this phase, I can change the parameter. I can reset the work, and I define a margin line. I draw automatically the margin line. We can change the insert direction. I can move the arrow, or I can select the best direction. the same on the 45. Okay. I go ahead and I set the occlusal plane. The occlusal plane can be defined by point or view. We can move and in occlusal plane phases I can set the articulator. We have two libraries for the articulator. We have a Contacta by Kutzer and Artex by Ammanbach. Contacta we have the same movements of the physical articulator. We can change the calibration parameter in translation or base translation. And we can limit the movements of articulator. I limit the movements left, right. Or I can limit the movement of protrusion. The same in the Artex. It's the same. We have the same movement of the physical articulator. And in calibration parameter, we can change and we can limit the movement of protrusion. Or right, left. So I go ahead and I go in internal phases. I go in internal phases and I change the parameter. But if you want to know the parameter inside the software, we have a help assistant, and I click on the option, and I know the parameter if I change. We have a short description, and we have images of the parameter. We can reset the job, we can have the scalp shape, we can add the remove smooth of the form, the internal crown, and we can change the undercut correction. We can add or remove millimeter. And we can set the diameter of the milling machine. I go ahead and in external phases I have I select Articulator, and in external phases I can use the digital articulator for the contact point. We can active the articulator, we can active the color map, and we can see the contacts. We can reset the work, and we can move the teeth. We can placing the teeth free or mesial, distal, or lingual, vocal. We can adjust the thickness, and we have the scalp shape. In the scalp shape we can set the articulator. Have a color map, and we can replace the movement, retrusion, protrusion, or right, left. In external phase, we have the possibility to correct the contact point. We can correct the contact point in static mood or in dynamic mood. Okay. We can calculate the contact point in a dynamic way based on retrusive, protrusive, and laterusive movements. I show. I set the color map and you see now the contact point. And we can modify, we can choose which the movement to make the correction. All or retrusion, protrusion, or left right. Now I select all and I set a new parameter. And the software corrects the contact point by the movement calculated. I show. You can see the modify in occlusal. So I go ahead. We can in connector phases we can reset all job, or we can set the connector. We can disable or not. We have a basic form. We can change, or we can drop. I can move, modify, and I can move, copy with on the neighbor. We go ahead. In accessories phase, we can reset all job. We have the scalp shape, and we can put an attachment. We have three type of attachment: a vertical attachment, or a parametric attachment, or section attachment. We can edit the parameter. We can move on the axis. And we can put or a pin, or we can make a hole. I close. I go ahead. And I can export the restoration in directory path, or I go ahead and I go directly inside the CAM. We have an integration with the CAM. Perfect. The digital articulator is available for removable prostheses. I show you just where do I set the articulator. In the preparation phase. So I define the articulator in occlusal plane. Is defined by the scan of check bytes. It's the same. We have a two type of articulator, Artex contact A. We can have calibration parameter. We can import the same parameter of a physical articulator, and we can limit the movement. In placement phase, in the place we have the articulator. I can apply the color map. The placement phase is supported by the digital articulator to allow the user to position the teeth to obtain the contact point. You can see the movement. And if you want, it's possible to move the teeth in base at the contact point. Perfect. That's all. If you have any question, I'm available. Okay, thanks so much for your time and follow us. Bye bye.